el exec, el vele, el fenómeno que todos quieren ser, el chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys? How we doing? Now with the boom arm. Now we're fully ready to go. Now you're not going to hear me go in and out and fade in and out and stuff like that because I'm holding my mic. No, we are here completely with the boom arm, completely stable. Actually, no, wrong one. Still learning the pad here. Still learning the pad. So, little blooper there, little blooper. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. We got everything in. Everything hooked up. How you doing, guys? Today's episode 68 of El Boricua y El Parcero podcast. I'm El Velez, El Boricua, right here with you guys. I hope that you are having a wonderful Thursday. You will be listening to this Friday. But it's Thursday before the game right now. So, today's episode is more of topical. I will do the predictions for the bowl games, including the two semifinals. And even though I did a little bit last week, we're going to go a little bit deeper into it. And then a lot of storylines have been popping off in both NFL and NBA. A little bit of MLB, but we're not talking MLB just yet. Ohtani got signed for $700 million to the Dodgers. So did Yamamoto. We know that. We know Juan Soto went to the Yankees. Little deals here and there. Mitch Garver went to Seattle for 2 years. That got announced, I think, earlier today. But other than that, no big shakers yet. The big contracts are kind of out of the way. So until something else happens, we'll keep that on the back burner. But this week, first big head of news after I recorded the last episode, the next day, Russell Wilson is benched to avoid a $37.5 million injury guarantee in his contract. And so if they were to cut him before June 1st, it's an $85 million cap hit. After June 1st, it gets split between the 2 years. But let's talk about the benching, because then that brings this whole story full circle. For them to bench Russell Wilson while still in kind of playoff contention, still in the playoff hunt for these last two games, I'm putting Jarrett Stidham in. It just tells you that they're gonna cut him. They're gonna release him. They just gave him that giant contract that hasn't even kicked in yet. And, we can look back at that trade with the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seahawks are definitely the winners now. They got Drew Lock, Noah Fant, which has been productive for them, and then all the picks. But for this to happen, this means that the Walton family, the owners of the Broncos, the heirs to the Walmart fortune, really, when they hired Sean Payton, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna give you the keys, and regardless of if Russell works or not, you're the one in charge, especially of personnel, not just the coach." Kind of like the Bill Belichick rule. Sean has always been good with personnel, especially with quarterbacks. So he gave him a shot. He's been there for 2 years. He sucked. Absolutely was horrid with Nathaniel Hackett. But then again, that could be Nathaniel Hackett. We don't know because the Jets with Nathaniel Hackett has not done the best. And he hasn't had Aaron the whole year. So he can't show if with Aaron he's a genius. Like he supposedly was within the Packers. And then Russell Wilson declined. It started in the Seahawks when they let Russ cook and all that after the Super Bowl appearances and the Super Bowl win, with the Legion of Boom. And I think it's just tough because he was a first ballot Hall of Famer type of guy going to the Broncos, and he has really tainted his legacy these last 2 years. Even though he was playing okay this year, but nothing close to his standard. Let's be real. He was good for he's good for one big throw a game to Cortland Sutton. He hits it or misses it. That's usually a touchdown off the board or not. He's going to throw you the ball as a defense, and he will get sacked, and he will, maybe run into sacks and stuff like that. So he sometimes did not give you the best opportunity to win, especially at the beginning of the season when they started 1-5, and then they went on that binge of wins, got back to 500, and then the last 2 weeks have been kind of up and down, losing to the Colts, or not to the Colts, I believe it was the Lions, put a smacking on them. But it's tough. It's tough to see. I don't know where he's going. He could go to the Saints. He can go, if Tampa wants to move on from Baker, he can go to Tampa. Atlanta, those teams that are kind of like looking for something at the quarterback position. Even Tennessee, if they think Will Levis is not the right guy, but I doubt it. I think Will Levis is going to be the guy there. He looks like somewhere like the Giants. They paid Daniel Jones, so they can't cut him till next year. But maybe they just want to bring him in just because like he brings us a better shot. But it's really sad to see a guy like him with so much praise over the last few years, especially the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and the way he was playing almost at an MVP caliber level in Seattle before it started to go bad. And for them to get a big contract and not even start it and already probably be getting cut. As for the Broncos, I think they're trading up in the draft. I don't think they're staying with Jarrett Stidham. You could definitely throw him in the Justin Fields conversation. They might try to coerce the Bears into giving him Justin Fields. I don't know what they would offer since they already gave a lot of picks for Russell Wilson last year. But I think it's sad to see a guy that was so well respected and everything like that get the pride go to his head a little bit, starting in Seattle, not understanding and being grateful for, having a guy like Pete Carroll and a run game with Marshawn, and even his last year having Kenneth Walker. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you think there's greener pastures on the other side, and you start to realize that maybe you had a really good at the original place that drafted you and cultivated your career. So, Russell Wilson's definitely getting cut. Pretty sure there'll be teams asking. New England will be one of them as well. The Jets probably not because they still believe in Aaron. But there are other teams gonna be calling for sure. Next on the docket, Jair for the Packers. This man named himself a captain by himself for the last game because after the game he said, "Oh, coaches forgot that I was from Charlotte. Must have forgot. So the guys backed me up." So he went out there. It was supposed to be 3 captains. He was the 4th. He was also the one that talked to the referee. He almost screwed up talking to the referee because there's a way that you can say, "Oh, no, we want the ball. We want to play defense." And if you say it in a certain way, you can be kicking both halves and not get it deferred to the second half. So he didn't know what he was doing. And he got suspended while they're in playoff contention. He got suspended for a big game coming up. He just got suspended for 1 game. LaFleur said it's unacceptable, that type of behavior. The press conference after was hilarious. But I don't know if it's too harsh just because he's one of your best players, or I don't know if it's justified just because he's kind of breaking the code of what a captain is. In a football team, when you get named the captain, it's a leadership position that demands respect. And for him to kind of, undermine that hierarchy is kind of disrespectful to his whole teammates, and him saying, "Oh, the team's got me, the guys got me." Like, okay, you're one of the best players, but if you didn't get chosen a captain, maybe you should go talk to LaFleur, go talk to Matt and be like, "Hey, I'm from Charlotte. Can I be a captain?" You can always ask. You can always have that conversation as a man, as an adult, as a good teammate, and so I don't think it was mature of him. It's a steep penalty though, losing him for one game. Especially when you're in playoff contention, he's your best corner. He's an all-pro corner too. Like he's one of the best corners in the NFL. So it's tough to see how Ballantyne is gonna fill in that role, especially like I said, in a very, very big game for playoff purposes for the Packers. Trevor Lawrence. It looks. So when I wrote this note down, it was looking, because he didn't practice, so it was looking like he wasn't gonna play, but he practiced today, limited. So it looks like, in my estimation, I think Trevor will play. But will he be effective? When we get to the predictions, we'll get to that. But, with the shoulder, the ankle, possibly the knee from back in the day, Trevor's a battler. He's a warrior. He's going to be out there. It's tough not having your number 2 and number 3 receiver. And especially when, for some reason, you have to wait to the third or fourth quarter to find your number 1 receiver in Calvin Ridley. I don't know why you don't feed him 5-6 times in the first half, or at least the first quarter, get him going so he's getting open for you. And you're looking for, you should really be looking at Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, and Calvin Ridley. Parker Washington comes after that, but you got to be looking for those guys before you look for your other guys, because those are the guys who's at the end of the game are going to make a play for you. So they have to be ready and already in rhythm to make a play for you. So that's with Trevor Lawrence. Jaren Hall, the rookie out of BYU, is going to start for the Vikings. So this makes Kirk Cousins, Joshua Dobbs, Nate Mullins, and now Jaren Hall. And Jaren Hall was stuck in there before the concussion. I don't know what to expect from the rookie. He was playing well. He was about to score a touchdown when he did get hurt. We just got to see. He does have JJ. He does have Jordan Addison. So it's not, no TJ. He's out for the season, torn ACL, T's and P's to him. But Jaren has a full complement, at least, of outside weapons that he can use. He still has Chandler in the backfield. So he should have a good game. But when we get into predictions, we'll see what's up with their game. All right. Let's get to little basketball. So the Pistons broke the record for a single season. It was 26. They broke it. They're at 27. And I'm going to tell you guys, there is no wins on this schedule for the Pistons in a while. First of all, tonight at 7:30, they face Boston in Boston. They're going to get smacked. This game might be over in the second quarter. All right. This game might be scary at the end of the first quarter, like this. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like it might be that scary at the end of the first quarter. They're going to try like hell. They're going to try. But I think they're just going to get bludgeoned to death. And when we look at like the rest of their schedule, you got Celtics tonight. You got the Raptors on Saturday at home. So you got a home game against the Raptors, but I think they lose that one. You face the Rockets in Houston. Then you face the Jazz. Maybe there you can do something, but they have Keontae George back, and everybody else is pretty much healthy. Laurie, Keontae George, Abaji, I think Taylor Horton-Tucker's the only one that is hurt right now, but they have pretty much their full team. You go to the Warriors, then you go to the Nuggets, and then you go back home to against the Kings, and then Wednesday, January 10th, you're at home against the Spurs. And then the 15th, you're at Washington. That's what you're looking at, I believe. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at that game against the Spurs or that game against Washington. Everybody else behind them starting from tonight at the Celtics all the way to, right before the Spurs game against the Kings, they might get blown out. Very, very possible that they get blown out. And, this is starting to become comical. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, how, if you're Monty Williams, you're getting paid almost $80 million a year, and you cannot figure out how to score. You came from the Suns where you were scoring, except against Luka. You get, shut down. But you went to a finals, like against Giannis. Took him to 6 games. You were scoring. Now, you don't have a Devin Booker on this team, but you have Cade. Cade scores 41. You still lose. The Nets tried to give you a win, and you still lose. Thank God that you're starting Jaden Ivey. It's about time. I think it's time to start Asar. I think it's time to start Asar. I think it's time to go young. I'm talking about young. I'm talking about Cade, Jaden, Asar. The oldest guy in the starting lineup should be Beef Stew, and then Jalen Duren at the 5. That should be your lineup. And whatever happens with that lineup happens. But that is the best lineup you could put out there. And then in the second unit, the first guy that has to be your 6th man is Marcus Sasser. That's your 6th man. Oh, but he's a rookie. He can score. Okay? He can keep the scoring going like a Jamal Crawford. He can keep the scoring going. Or like a Norman Powell for the Clippers. Or a Cole Anthony for the Magic. He can keep the scoring going. So you're not bogged down. Because even with the starting lineup you're starting up now, this is what you're getting. 0 spacing. 0. Cade can't work. Jaden can't work. Nobody can work. Beef Stew can shoot the 3, but he don't get no space to shoot 3s. Because nobody is feeling threatened by the outside shooters. Nobody. Oh, but, Josh, start Bogey. It's like, yeah, we could start Bogey. What's happened? Nothing. He's not shooting well. Wasted a trade on Joe Harris. He's not doing nothing. He hasn't shot well. Coming from shooting plus 40% from 3 to barely getting any minutes. I think that it should transfer to Cade, Jaden, and Asar's team. I think that's the best way to go. Whether you keep losing, that's okay because they're young and they're going to learn from this. But don't put the old people in there and then have the kids just kind of try. Let them figure it out. Let them run the offense. Maybe if you run a high school offense, a little bit more free and go and run and gun, maybe you'll score more points. Maybe there's better spacing. Because right now, what you're doing, Monty, is not working. And it's making you look really bad. Really bad. So, that's my point on the Pistons. I think this is going to 30. At least this losing streak is going to 30. Unless tonight they find out a way. Some way. To play better than the Celtics. I doubt it. Because I don't think anybody's hurt for the Celtics. They're at full go, full strength. If we just take a little bit at the NBA right now, just a little look-see. A little look-see on the NBA before we go into bold predictions. The standings as we speak right now. Boston still 1. Milwaukee still 2. They're separated by a game, okay? Separated by a game. And at this point, they're kind of evenly matched. I mean, that Boston starting 5, especially with Derek White, is lethal. I have to say it. I hate Boston, but it's lethal. And then Milwaukee, I just think that they're finally getting their stride. They put Malik Beasley in the starting lineup. Stretch out the floor a little bit more. Have another threat from 3, so they can't just corral Dame. They can't just wall up against Giannis because the driving kick. You got Malik Beasley, you got Dame, you got Splash Mountain, Brook Lopez. So, Milwaukee's 2. Philadelphia 3 with no Embiid the last 2 games. They lost to us, but they won against the Magic. Tyrese Maxey, came up a little bit yesterday. And then Miami's 4, which is pretty good because I think Jimmy is questionable for tonight, I believe. So I think he should play. And if we're fully healthy, I want to see what we do. Because that means Jaime, Tyler, Bam, and Jimmy all healthy. I want to see what type of numbers we could put up and what type of defense we can play. Orlando's at the 5. They lost to 76ers yesterday. Cleveland worked they up to 6. They worked they up to 6 with no Darius Garland, no Donovan Mitchell, no Evan Mobley. This is all on the kids. This is Isaac Okoro, Craig Porter Jr., the rookie. Wade shooting threes. Strus came off the bench yesterday. I mean, it's incredible what they've done, completely switching who's starting. And I don't know if it's injury or if it's legitimately Bickerstaff just saying, nah, we just got to try something else. We got to try to be better. We got to try to get younger, So that's why the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors have gone up and stuff like that. 7, we have the Knicks. They still need a scorer. Whether it's Zach LaVine, whether they go to Charlotte and get a Miles Bridges, whether they go to Charlotte, maybe try to get a Gordon Hayward. They need a scorer, a legit person that they can go to besides Jalen Brunson to score. Okay? Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett are not going to get it done. Indiana's still slipping. They're 8. Brooklyn is 9. They're healthy, but it's a tough East. It's a tough East, and I think they need a couple of more pieces, especially on the scoring side. Cam and Mikal and Cam Johnson, they're good, but they need a legit scorer. And if they're high in the draft this year, not high, but somewhere, where there's a scorer in the draft, or maybe they go after a scorer, like a Zach LaVine with Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas. Maybe it's not good defensively, but it's a lot of offensive firepower, I would think, if they want to go that way. If they want to get a little bit more physical, they can go out to go get a Miles Bridges, an OG Anunoby from the Raptors, a Pascal Siakam, from the Raptors. Chicago's 10th. They've been playing well with Kobe White and stuff like that, and DeMar DeRozan, but they're 10th. Toronto is still 11th. Atlanta is, I think, shopping DeJounte Murray. That's another scorer that could go somewhere. Somebody that needs a point guard, because he's a point guard. He's a defensive scoring point guard. Long, athletic, has a nice shot, has gotten better from 3, can get his own shot, is a creator, and a hell of a defensive pest. And you can definitely play him 1 through 3, and he can definitely do some damage on the defensive end. But I don't know what they're going to do because they're at 12-18 and Trey's averaging 27-10. So yeah, it's not looking good in Atlanta. Still mid, well, less than mid. They're 12-18 right now. Charlotte, no LaMelo. That's a lost cause, unfortunately. Washington is going to stay down there. They're 5-25. They look better. Jordan Poole looks better. Kyle Kuzma looks better. Kispert, Koulibaly. But they're just facing better competition. And they still commit stupid turnovers. JP, Jordan Poole be committing them. Kyle Kuzma driving without a plan. Young team. They're just, we talked about the Pistons already. They're lost, you know what it is. 27 in a row. That is incredible. They lose tonight. They tied the 76ers for the most losses across ever, because that 76ers team lost I believe they lost 26 straight in one season, and then they went to 28 straight starting the next season. That was the whole process and stuff like that. So yeah, I think they're definitely going to blow past that. If you look at the West, Minnesota's still 2 games up on OKC. However, OKC beat them and beat them handily. Not going to lie. This OKC team is really scary. The Minnesota team is scary too, but what I see with OKC is a lot of scoring and what defensive assets and how you're going to distribute them is going to affect who is actually going to score from that team. You know, you can't just stop SGA when J-Dub can give you 30. You can't just stop J-Dub and limit SGA when Chet can hit 3 threes, get 5 blocks, 10 rebounds, and score 25. You know, you have Isaiah Joe coming off the bench hitting threes. You have Kenrich Williams hitting threes. You know, you have Cason Wallace hitting threes and playing good defense. This team plays good defense as well. They're long. They can block shots with Chet. You know, so I still believe in Minnesota, still believe in Ant, obviously, but SGA is, I think, 3rd in the MVP ladder right now, and deservedly so. Denver's number 3, chilling. They're chilling there. No problems. The Clippers are 4th, okay? They're 4th right now. And I think with the team that they have right now and how healthy they are, I think they'll stay around there. They're 18-12. They're 12-4 at home, 6-8 away, but that mostly before James Harden started playing really well. They're 8-2 in the last 10, so they're rolling right now. They're rolling, and I think it's gonna keep going because this team, if you look at it on paper, I mean, you have 4 Hall of Famers. You know, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, PG, and Kawhi. You know, so these people know how to win, especially Kawhi. They know how to win. Tyronn Lue is a Hall of Fame coach, in my opinion, at this point. And when it comes to dealing with egos, there's nobody better than Tyronn Lue. He dealt with LeBron. So I think the Clippers are doing just fine and are going to definitely try to make a statement this year if they stay healthy. That's the big if they stay healthy. Sacramento's 5. De'Aaron Fox is playing absolutely bonkers. Dallas is 6. But the thing about Dallas is that this is still no Kyrie. This is all on Luka. Luka, 50 ball. I think he scored 40 yesterday. I mean, he's going nuts. But he does need the help of Kyrie sometimes for that to alleviate him from the scoring burden. So I'm looking forward to when Kyrie comes back. New Orleans is 7. Zion got a new tattoo. Looks pretty good. Some people were saying it was off center. Yeah, I definitely saw it. I could definitely say that it probably was, but it looks pretty good. Across his chest with a line inside. I hope that translates to his play. Consistent. You know, like, come on, Zion. Let's go. You know, because, like, if not, you just played a joke on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a tattoo with a cross and a lion, but you're playing like a puppy. What we doing? Exactly. We don't do that. All right? So he better play well. Better play really well. Okay? Coming, for the rest of the season. Houston's 8. Cam Whitmore is finally in the lineup. Now we just have to get him into the starting lineup. I think the Houston Rockets are better served going a little bit younger, and this might be a big scary for you guys because we've seen them for the last couple years, but how about we switch Jalen Green for Cam Whitmore? Ooh, what about that? I don't know. What I see from Cam Whitmore, he can shoot threes. He's more under control than Jalen. And he's a little bit more stout, so he can play a little bit more defense. He still has the crazy athleticism. We're talking about a crazy athletic dude. Hella hops. He can drive to the rim. He can finish at the rim. He was supposed to be the 4th pick. They took him 20th. And then, after that, I think we really have to start looking at maybe sitting down Van Fleet and starting Amen. Amen's back. I think Amen can round out into being a very good 6'7" athletic point guard. He knows how to pass well. But all that's for the future because they have Derek Brooks. They have they have Van Fleet that they have to use. So, Sengun is playing like an all-star. I believe that's going to be their best player moving forward. But their scorer, I believe, is going to turn into Cam Whitmore and move away from Jalen Green. And that's what I expect through the rest of the season. But I like that team, and I like the core. I like the core. And Ime Udoka, I love as a coach for that team. 9, the Lakers. They suck. Period. Yes, I said it. Why? No score. Listen, when I tell you there's not enough scoring, there's a reason why they're in the talks of Zach LaVine, Pascal Siakam, Miles Bridges, like they're Donovan Mitchell, like they're DeJounte Murray. Supposedly they're the odds-on favorite for DeJounte Murray at this point. But you need a scorer. D'Angelo Russell, not getting it done. Austin Reeves, not going to get it done. It can't just be the AD and LeBron show. Vanderbilt can't shoot. Hachimura is sometimes spotty. And everybody else, minimum contracts. You don't play Hood Schifino. Why'd you draft him? He's a point guard. To be honest, I would play him above D'Lo. Even though D'Lo probably gives you in your eyes, it gives you more scoring. I don't think so. I think that it's better to have an actual point guard. And if you drafted him to be a point guard, I think that you should play him and move off of D'Lo, which is what people are saying. So that's just me. Phoenix, number 10, they have a bunch of problems. From lack of execution to being too top heavy to health. Coaching could be a little bit of a concern because there is no reason that a team with this type of talent, Eric Gordon's hitting threes, and you still got Devin Booker hitting his mid-range, you got KD still going for 30, and you're losing games. You're losing games. That sounds scary to me because that doesn't fly in the playoffs. That shit gets you eliminated, okay? Eliminated in the playoffs. And that's the last thing KD wants to do, go into a new team and get eliminated early in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Golden State, 11. We're just figuring out how to win in clutch games, which is crazy to say about the Golden State Warriors. Like, huh? Winning in close games? That's what they built everything on. Well, yeah, but, Pod can be one of those scorers at the end of the game. Clay, Curry, Wiggins, everybody has to be in synergy. Kuminga, everybody has to be in a synergy. Trace Jackson Davis has to gobble up rebounds, finish defensive possessions, not allow easy baskets at the end of the game like they did against Denver. From there, they can amount wins and amass wins. But right now, they're 11th, and every game is a nail biter. They're up, they're down, they get back up, they go back down. Like it's a mess right now, and it's Curry and Clay to some extent, and that's it. So I think B-Pod is going to get better as the season goes on. I think Trace Jackson Davis is going to get better as the season goes on. Kuminga's already showing massive improvement. CP3 is really unlocked Kuminga in the roller spot and stuff like that, and cutting to the rim, hitting on cuts and stuff, and for open threes. So I just expect them to figure it out, use that championship mentality and the battle within mentality to figure it out. And I think they will make the playoffs. Now, they won't. I don't know if they're going to be playing playoffs. We don't know. But I think they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be in the dance because at the end of the day, if you got Steph Curry, I ain't doubting them. Utah is looking a lot better. And why do I say that? Well, they have the final starting lineup. Keontae starting. Laurie starting. I believe Walker Kessler starting. And Kelly Olynyk. Now, I would still switch out Kelly Olynyk for Ochai Agbaji. That's just me. But I like what I see from the core. I feel like they're going to build a nice rapport. Colin Sexton's playing well. So Keontae George-Laurie and Colin have been playing together, I think is going to be the recipe for success. And we're going to see them play better as the season goes on, I believe. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they'll definitely be frisky. Memphis with Ja. Won 4 straight. They're 12 back of the 1 seed. And right now, 7.5 to 12. Let's call it 5 games? 5 games, they've won 4. Can he make it? I think they can. I think Ja is that special. I think at this point they've won 4 straight. They're 10-19. They're 8-8 on the road, 2-11 at home. That should change with Ja. That should change. But I think that with Ja, everything connects, and him being at a 28 to 30 point score, as well as almost 8 or more assists a game, along with like 6-7 rebounds. If he's around that and still his efficient self around the rim and the menace that he is around the rim and in the paint, I think that they can knock out Phoenix Suns. They can knock out the Lakers. They can knock out Houston, and New Orleans. They beat them twice already, including yesterday, I believe. So, I like what Memphis is doing. I think Ja is going to get them over the hump in that regard. To the play-in. I don't know about the playoffs. They're kind of far away from there, but to the play-in. Although, to the 6th seed, 7 games. We got to see. We got to see how much this Ja momentum lasts. Portland. Listen, I like what I'm seeing from Scoot. He looks under control. I see him dunking. I see him at the rim. I see him shooting. I like it. I see him passing. I like it. That's all we got to do. Grow. This is not about winning. This is about building good habits. Okay? We build good habits. Why are we laughing? Because you guys are laughing. Because you guys, it's about winning. But, you just drafted the kid. Shaden Sharp is 20 years old? Anthony Simons is 22, 21? We just build good habits. Once you build good habits, then you focus on winning, because then you apply the good habits and you do the dirty work. You get rebounds, loose balls, you finish possessions on the defensive side, and then run efficient offense based off of that defense. So I like what I'm seeing from Portland. They won the last game they won. Pretty good. But it's going to be losing, but I like what I see from the youngins. All right, let's get a little bit of Chris Murray in there. I want to see Chris. He can shoot like his brother, so I want to see him more. I think he could be a good defensive piece if you use him more, maybe in the second unit, but at least use him. I think we got to see more of him. San Antonio, 4-25. I've lost 5 in a row. We're still seeing the same problem. Nobody passing to Wemby. And at this point, they are pointing the finger at Pop. And I don't blame them. Because Pop, in all your years of all the generational talents, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, now Wemby, that you've had, you've learned how to develop. And it's never been this bad. So what are we doing? It's getting scary. It's getting scary out there. And I don't like it, because for Pop and it's just not good for Wemby. It's not good for Vassell. It's not good for Keldon. It's not good for the young guys on that team that are actually going to be part of the core. Now, are those going to be part of the core? I hope Devin Vassell and Wemby stay. But we'll see. By the way, CJ Stroud just got cleared from concussion protocol. So when we get to the predictions, we will take that into consideration for the Texans. So that's the NBA. Very exciting. I love how it's going right now. I love seeing the highlights, seeing how people and the teams are developing. I like it a lot. It's rounding into form. Now, to the bowl games. And I'm predicting now because, we're close. We're really close to, this is going to be the last episode before the 2 semifinals. So I'd rather give you my predictions for the rest of the bowl games that are going to be kind of like the bigger ones and the two national semifinal games. I'm not going to say the ones that are happening as of right now. Rutgers is beating Miami, UM, 14-10 in the Bad Boy Mowers Prestige Bowl. All right, so guys, lo conocen. SMU beat Boston. SMU lost to Boston College yesterday. We have NC State, Kansas State in the Pop Tarts Bowl. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Kansas State. I'm gonna go Kansas State on that one. I think they got that one. Then we have Arizona and Oklahoma in the Valero Alamo Bowl. I've actually seen this one a couple times. No Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma because, people that go to the draft or transfer are not playing. But I'm still go with OU, Boomer Sooner. I think that they can get it done. The rest is, all right, Friday, tomorrow. Clemson, Kentucky. I'm going to go Clemson in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. I'm going to go Clemson. Kentucky, Leary, is he going to play? I don't know. Is Davis going to play? Ray Davis going to play? I don't know. So I'm going to go Clemson. They're the better program historically. Oregon State, Notre Dame. I just think Notre Dame is too physical. Although DAU, I don't know if he'll play either. But I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. I believe their offensive line and the defensive line is more physical than the Oregon State offensive line and defensive line. Memphis, Iowa State. This one's tough because I don't know either of these teams how they've played this year. I'm gonna go with the better record team. I'm gonna go 9-3. I'm gonna go Memphis. Even though Iowa State is favored by 10.5 in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. You know what? I'm going to go Iowa State. Let's go Cyclones. I'm going to go Brock Purdy School. Ooh, all right, one of the big ones. Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Missouri. Ohio State. Kyle McCord not playing because he transferred. Missouri. I'm still going to go Ohio State. I think that, they just got, better players overall. So I'm going to go with Jason Day. Coming off the loss to Michigan and just trying to beat up these people, even though it's only 3.5 point spread to Ohio State. But I'm going to go OSU. Saturday, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ole Miss, Penn State. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go Ole Miss. SEC, I think best, the Big Ten. So I'm going to go Ole Miss. Maryland versus Auburn in the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. I'm going to go with Talia, Tagovailoa, Tua's brother. And I'm going to go with Maryland, even though Auburn is a 6.5 point favorite. Well, we're going to go with Maryland. I'm going to roll with it. Georgia, Florida State. We already know that the second string for Rodemaker, the second string quarterback for Florida State, already transferred, so he's not going to play. So it will be their third stringer. I'm going to go with Georgia. I don't think that there's a debate there. Florida State has a good defense, but I just think Georgia overall is just a better team in the Capital One Orange Bowl here in Miami. And we have Toledo, Wyoming. I'm going to go with Toledo. The Wyoming has a 3.5 point spread as a favorite. But Toledo went 11-2. Wyoming went 8-4. I'm going to go with Toledo. On Monday, starting with the ReliaQuest Bowl. ReliaQuest Bowl. Oh, wow. Okay. Wisconsin, LSU. I'm going to go LSU. I believe Jaden Daniels is going to play one last film for his college tape to go to the draft. I haven't heard anything that he won't play. Malik Neighbors, I haven't heard anything that he won't play. Hill, Perkins, I haven't heard anybody that won't play. So I'm going to go with LSU. They're a 10 point favorite. The Fiesta Bowl. The Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Liberty versus Oregon. All right, we're going OU, guys. We're going OU. I haven't heard that Bo Nix is not going to play. Troy Franklin, Bucky Irving. I haven't heard that none of them are going to play. So, we're going to go with OU. They're a 17-point favorite. So I'm going to go with OU. I'm going to go Oregon. Go Ducks. The Citrus Bowl. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Iowa can't score versus Tennessee. I'm going to go Tennessee. SEC. They're a 6-point favorite right now. And Iowa can't score. Like, let's just be actually honest with ourselves. We've seen this team. They cannot score. They can't even get it past the 50 unless it's for their defense. They have a really good defense, but I think Tennessee gets it done. Now, let's get to the big ones. Let's talk about it. Alabama, Michigan. You guys know I'm going to Alabama already. You guys already know I'm going to Alabama. I would like Michigan to win. But Nick Saban is on the other side. Looking for number 8. Okay? Looking for championship number 8. And from what I've heard on Twitter, Milroe is looking at this as a chance to keep proving his doubters wrong, including Bill O'Brien. I found this on Twitter. I'm going to play it for you guys now. It was a press conference of him and before the Rose Bowl on Monday. There was a look what he's saying right here. Oh, my bad. Gotta pause that. All right, here we go. Look at this right here.
I shouldn't play quarterback. So, there's a lot of things I can, have motivation on, and that is something I have motivation from.
What was your reaction to Bill O'Brien telling you that you shouldn't play quarterback? Do you remember how you felt when he said that?
How would you feel if I told you suck?
Probably wouldn't like it.
Okay then, so that's exactly how I felt, you know what I'm saying? So, biggest thing for me, be true to myself and, stay the same. Nothing changed about me. Only thing that changed me was I had the opportunity and I seized it. And so, for me, the biggest thing was just stay true to myself and, add a bigger purpose to anyone's opinion.
Is there a position he wanted you to play or said you should be this position or that position, or did he just... He told me a bunch of businesses I could have switched to, but look where I'm at right now. So, you know what I'm saying? So who gets the last laugh?
That is a scary, scary, scary proposition right there, guys. Scary. What I mean scary is because it's not just him. The whole team was doubted. That's why it's scary hours. Scary. So I'm going to go with Bama. For that reason, everybody got their chip on their shoulder. Everybody said, oh, we're done. And everything like that. And we still do not know what happens to J.J. McCarthy. Does he turn into one of these against Alabama's defense? I hope not. But it can happen, What about Michigan's defense? They're good. But this is a Bama offensive line. This is a Bama running game. This is a Bama quarterback. So I believe that Mr. Nick and St. Nick are smelling number 8, smelling it. And that's scary. So I'm going to go with Bama. It's going to be a close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I'm going to go with Bama. Let's go to Texas versus Washington in the Sugar Bowl. So right now, the matchup predictor on ESPN is 69.2 Texas. And I get it, Big 12 and, Texas probably has a better defense and the offenses are kind of similar. But I think that the difference in this game comes down to, can the Texas Longhorns cornerbacks defend this whole wide receiving core? Because we're not talking about 2 guys. We're not talking about 1 guy. We're talking about 4 guys. 4 that you got to cover on every play. Roma Dunze, McMillan, Polk, and Gabe Jackson, the freshman. Not to mention the running back, Johnson, who can run. He's run really well, and he's closed games out for him and gotten them big first downs. So is the Texas Longhorns defensive line going to pressure Michael Penix enough for him to make a mistake or a couple mistakes? And on the other side, can Quinn Ewers not make a mistake, believe in his running game, and give the ball to Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell and Jordan, his tight end, his super talented tight end? I believe in Washington. I've seen them all year. I believe that they're a really good team, and I believe in Michael Penix. So if I swallow my words next Monday, I am fine with it. But I'm going with Washington. I just believe that Michael Penix and that receiving core will be too much for that Texas defense. And on the other side, I believe Trice will make some plays against Quinn Ewers, and they will stop the run to some extent, although they haven't shown it, of course. So that's why, Texas is definitely favored. But I still believe that push come to shove, I believe that Washington gets the win. They've been in closer games with Oregon and big games, and they've come through. So I think they're battle tested, and I think Washington's ready to go to the big dance. Those are my predictions for the semifinals, of course. Now, let me get our predictions for the NFL for this week, week 17 of the NFL season. Woo! One more week to go after this one, guys. One more week of games. It's getting sad around here. Football's almost done. College football's almost done. There's going to be just NBA and seeing what stragglers and, of course, the draft and combine, and then baseball news coming about and all that. So it's going to be very interesting how we do it this year. We did it last year. We did great. So I expect we do great again. So tonight, Jets-Browns. If we go into this game, I'm very confident that Joe Flacco will win this game. Amari Cooper is questionable. That's scary because who's he gonna throw besides David Njoku? That's been his go-to guys. I believe he will play. I believe Amari will play. So that's not from any sources or anything like that. I just think that he's questionable, so I believe he will play. With a heel injury. I believe in Cleveland because of the defense and the combination of the defense and the Joe Flacco offense compared to the Jets defense, which is really good, but that offense is so hit or miss. So hit or miss. That I don't know. I don't believe it. So I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns to get to 11-5, guys. 11-5. That is that will be really good for that team, especially with no Deshaun and basically using 4 different quarterbacks this year. It's incredible, and Joe Flacco coming off the couch. That's a really nice story. So I'm gonna go with the Browns. Next game, Saturday. Detroit Lions go to AT&T Stadium to face the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, now let's talk facts here. First of all, it's an indoor stadium, so that is advantage lines. Dallas is coming off a loss on the road again, but the Dallas Cowboys have won they've won 15 straight home games. Good job. Because all you hear at every Dallas game at home is, here we go. That's Dak. Here we go. That's it, just to get them on time. And I think that because of it being quiet and him able to make all the checks and everything like that, that their offense will run smooth. The defense plays better at home. So, although I hate them, and God, I hate the Cowboys so bad. And I love to do this to them. Love it. But since they're at home, it's tough to pick against them, especially on a 15-game home winning streak. Detroit coming off of winning the division. Maybe they come a little slow. I don't think so with Dan Campbell at head coach, but Dallas at home is a tough team to play. Thank God that they're not going to have home field advantage in the playoffs. But I'm going to go Dallas right here. I don't want to, but I just think that they're just too good at home. It's quiet, and Dak could get to all his reads and all his can and kill, all those checks and everything like that. So I'm going to go Dallas. All right. Now, if Detroit wins, I'll be happy. Please. If Detroit wins, I'll be happy. Now, probably the biggest game of the week when it comes to the AFC. The 11-4 Miami Dolphins off a big home win against the Dallas Cowboys. Going to Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson, MVP frontrunner, and the 12-3 number one seeded Baltimore Ravens for the number one seed in the AFC. For the number one seed in the AFC. And looking at everything about this game, I'm leaning Baltimore, and I'm a Dolphins fan. But what I've seen from Lamar, the receiving core, and especially this defense with Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, Kyle Hamilton, I don't know if he's going to play, but if he does, even more scary. But what I've seen overall from this team and from Harbaugh is a really, really good team and a Super Bowl contender and potential winner. As of this point, and as of right now, holding the crown for the best team in the NFL after beating the 49ers handily last week. So I'm going to go with Baltimore. I'm going to go with the Ravens. Because I think that defense stops Tyreek. I don't know if Waddle is playing, but we'll stop Tyreek enough. We'll have enough in the box to stop our running game to a certain extent. And then how do we stop Lamar? The 49ers couldn't stop Lamar. How do we stop Lamar? And that's the big question. So I'm going to go with Baltimore, just knowing that Lamar will probably put in an MVP performance, cement the MVP, his second of his career, and then be on a good roll heading into the playoffs with the number one seed. Although I would love to Miami to win, Baltimore's the best team in the NFL. And we have to be realistic about where we stand. We're one of the best teams in the NFL, but they are the best team in the NFL with the MVP frontrunner at the helm, playing as confident as ever in an offense that he remembers from his time at Louisville, where he won the Heisman and was the youngest Heisman Trophy winner of all time. So I think that Baltimore gets it done. Okay, and we stay at the 2 seed. 49ers Commanders, guys, we're going 49ers here. Come on. This is going to be an absolute party for CMC, a party for Brock Purdy, a bounce back, Ayuk, Kittle, Bosa, you name it, they're having a party this week. Okay, this is going to be an ugly, ugly game. I do not expect it to be even remotely close. Okay, remotely. Steelers Seahawks. Mason Rudolph is the official starter. Congratulations. Kenny Pickett, I believe, is cleared, if not questionable. We don't know yet. But as of right now, Rudolph is the starter. Coming off of the win last week and how he played. But they're in Seattle. On the road. Against Geno. And a confident team that knows that they can make the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. And for the simple fact that they're at home, I believe the run game with Kenneth will be effective enough. And I believe Geno will be effective enough with DK and JSN and Tyler Lockett and Mason Rudolph will get pressured. And the corners will do their job. I don't think that Pickens has a giant day like he did last time. I will respect what Mason Rudolph did against that Bengals defense, even though they were lower part of the league in a lot of certain categories. And they were at home. So I'm going to go Seattle at home with the 12s, and they get it done. Geno gets it done against Pittsburgh. Okay, now, Patriots, Bills. All right, we're going Bills here, guys. Going Bills here. I don't think it's probably not close. Bill Belichick gave his respect in the press conference to Josh Allen, compared him to Tom Brady. I guess good compliment. Good compliment, but at the same time, that's a little far-fetched there. You know, they play different ways. One was a first-round pick, a very high first-round pick. The other guy was a sixth-round pick. So differences. But he said, like, once they figure it out, that's how they played at an elite level for the rest of their career. And his example was, I believe, mid 2003 season is when Brady finally unlocked the Brady that we saw for almost 20 years. But before that, he hadn't figured it out yet, and he thinks that Josh Allen has gotten to that point. So with that, I think that Buffalo wins. I think that Kincaid is the one that has the big game. I think he's going to try to shut down Stephon Diggs. So Stephon Diggs is going to be on scary watch because whoever has him in fantasy, I feel bad for you guys this week. But I still believe that the Bills win comfortably this game. They're at home in northern New York. It's probably going to be cold. As of right now, it's going to be 33. No snow, no clouds, I guess. But it's going to be 33 degrees, so it's nice and chilly. Not cold, but it's nice and chilly unless there's wind. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills at home. Falcons, Bears. Jesus Christ. All right. So the reason I'm going to go with the Falcons. Is because I believe in Taylor Heineke. I believe that last week he threw the ball very well. Against a pretty good defense in the Colts. So I just think that Heineke actually throwing to, using Bijan in the backfield, of course, but actually throwing to Kyle Pitts and actually throwing to Drake London will offset Justin Fields throwing to DJ Moore. Now, that Bears defense has been pretty locked down as of late, but I think this Atlanta running game with Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson bludgeons them enough for them to give up some big plays down the field. So I'm going to go with Atlanta. On the road, going to Soldier Field in a 37-degree sunny game. I believe Atlanta gets it done. Just have more firepower, but if we don't see it, shout out to the Bears, I guess. Raiders, Colts. Talk about a tough ask right here. Is Michael Pittman playing? Full practice participant today. He's questionable. I believe he'll play. So if he plays, it comes down to two things. Josh Jacobs is also questionable, but he was a non-participant in practice today, so that is looking like he's not going to play. So what we're looking at, guys, is basically Aiden O'Connell versus Gardner Minshew, who finds their weapons first and better. Can Aiden O'Connell find Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers better, and Trey Tucker? Or can Gardner Minshew find Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Zach Moss, he was limited at practice today, so I think he'll play. And possibly no Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. The Raiders have a good defense with Max Crosby. Indiana has a good defense. I'm going to go with the Colts. I believe that they have a better package. And they're at home. I think I give them the edge because they're at home. One's 8-7, the other one's 7-8. They're both very much in the playoff picture. One more than another. But I believe the Colts want it that bad, and I believe I'm going off the perception that Michael Pittman will play, so he will have his number one receiver, Gardner Minshew will, and I think at home gives them the boost, so I'm going with the Colts. Next game, Panthers at Jaguars. Now, guys, I want to say the Jaguars, and I'm gonna say the Jaguars, but am I a little apprehensive, a little scared from what I've seen the last few weeks, especially last week? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. 4-game skid. They host the Panthers. It's at home. Trevor Lawrence looks like he's gonna play. He was listed as a non-participant today. 36 minutes ago, he was listed as a non-participant, so it's still up in the air, but I think he will play. I believe he will play. I'm going off the assumption that he plays. If he doesn't play, we got a lot closer game with CJ Beathard and Bryce Young. But overall, I think that Trevor Lawrence, Evan Ingram, Calvin Ridley gets it done. I think Josh Allen gets a couple sacks. Maybe Trayvon Walker gets a sack. And overall, I just think that there's no way that they could lose this game. And I say that, and then they lose against a 2-13 team at home. No, I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I'm confident in T-Law that's going to play. He's a dog. He's gonna play. And they're going to get off the schneid, be at 9-7, still be in the playoff hunt and in their respective division hunt for the division title to try to get a home game in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Jags. Titans-Texans, CJ will play. CJ's out of concussion protocol. CJ will play. I'm going to go with the Texans. Just because of CJ. CJ and Nico, I think that's enough. CJ, Nico, Devin Singletary, Damian Pierce, Noah Brown, Mechie, Brevin Jordan. I think that's enough. With his defense, a little bit more juiced now that CJ's on the other side. So all they have to do is force a mistake from Levis because he's going to play. And I don't think Levis will find. I think Derek Stingley will roam with DeAndre Hopkins. And I don't think that Derrick Henry will have a giant day. Derrick Henry, sorry. So I'm going to go with the Texans. I'm going to go with CJ coming back. They're going to be juiced. They're going to have an extra juice. And CJ's just going to put the fear of God into that Tennessee defense with his accuracy and his processing and his anticipation on his throws. So I'm going to go with the Texans there. They go to 9-7 and keep up pace with the Jaguars. That's going to be it right there. Texans-Jaguars right there. Whoever wins, whoever loses there is going to be big implications in that AFC South. Same with the Colts. Rams, Giants. I'm going with the Rams. We talked about the Rams last week after their win against the Saints. I'm going with the Rams. I believe that this team is humming offensively with Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. I mean, anybody can hit you. Anybody. Demarcus Robinson. Anybody can hit you at any time, whether it's Kyron Williams on a screen, Kyron Williams, off tackle, even with ISOs, Puka Nacua with a crosser, with an out route, can break a tackle, yak, Cooper Kupp, what he brings. So, and then you still got Aaron Donald on the other side, Byron Young, these Keel Witherspoon, these defensive players are playing pretty well, the young cats. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. They keep their momentum going, move to 9-7. And definitely keep those playoff hopes alive. And McVay has done a wonderful job this year in coaching. So I'm going to go with the Rams over the Giants. I just think that the Giants just don't have anything, guys. I don't know. I think Tommy DeVito's playing. No, Tyrod? Who's playing this week? Is it Tommy DeVito or Tyrod? Let's see. Tyrod Taylor is announced as the starting quarterback. Okay. You guys might think that changes something, maybe because, the experience back there and everything like that. But I think that Aaron Donald eats up whoever's in front of him on this offensive line. I don't think Saquon has many holes to run through. Jalen Hyatt and Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson are all going to be kind of bottled up. So I'm going to go with the Rams here, and they keep their momentum going. Cardinals, Eagles, we're going with the Eagles. This is a no-brainer right here. I think that they're just going to bludgeon them, use them as a stepping stone, get their confidence back, really run with DeAndre Swift, A.J. Brown with a big game. Jalen Hurts gets back on the right track. They pressure Kyler, make him uncomfortable all game. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be pretty. This is at the Link. So I'm going to go with the Eagles here to secure their division, or keep up with Dallas because they have to win out. And Dallas they already lost to the Dolphins. So if they keep up one above them, they'll win the division. Saints, Buccaneers, what a game. I'm going to go with the Bucs here in this NFC South matchup. The Bucs are 8-7, looking to move up to 9-7 and keep pace, but keep their lead in the division to get that home game in the playoffs. The Saints, we talked about it last week. The inconsistency from Derek Carr. Why can't you do what you do in the late third quarter and fourth quarter? Why can't you do it from quarter 1 to quarter 3? Then you win more games. I think the Tampa Bay defense is really good. I think Baker Mayfield is playing up with the utmost confidence like he used to at OU. I think Mike Evans is right now feeling unguardable. So is Godwin. Rashad White's is running the ball really well. So I'm going to go with Tampa. They're at home. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay Bucks to win against the Saints at home. Next, we have the Bengals and the Chiefs. And right now, people are on the Chiefs. In the rematch of the AFC title game, they're both fighting for the playoffs. This is Jake Browning versus Patrick Mahomes, which who would have thought we would have been saying that. Jamar Chase could miss. He could miss. L'Jarius Sneed has a calf. Jalen Watson has an illness. Isaiah Pacheco has a concussion. So there's concerns. There's concerns for the Chiefs. But I'm going to be real with you guys. This is at Arrowhead again. This is against a bad defense. Statistically, has been a bad defense all year. I'm going to personally say this is a Chiefs win right here. They get back on track. If they lose this, it's burn everything down time. Not in the sense of fire everybody, but it's like, hey guys, we really need to survey ourselves in the offseason. And even if we make it to the playoffs, we got to survey ourselves in the offseason, get some weapons in here, maybe go after a big free agent like T. Higgins, or go into the draft looking for a big one weapon or two weapons, to be honest. Like, I think they should draft 2 high wide receivers in this next upcoming draft to somehow get one in the first round, and then in the second round see what's left. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here. I believe in Mahomes over Browning. I think the Chiefs defense will cause Browning problems just like the Steelers defense did last week. And I believe the Chiefs go to 10-6 and start securing that division again, that NFC West, for I believe the 6th year in a row. Chargers Broncos in the battle of, one is a benched quarterback, the other one fired coach and fired GM. A lot of that going around. But since the Broncos are in playoff still contention, Then again, I like what I saw from Easton Stick last week at the end of the game. He looked like he was a little bit more comfortable. But I think this Denver defense is enough, and they're at home. So I'm going to go with Denver and Jarrett Stidham. Now, do I feel good about it? Not really. I really don't. But I believe Sean Payton will outcoach the interim head coach for the Chargers, and I think this is just a coaching mismatch. So I'm gonna go with Denver. Like I said, don't feel particularly good about it, but I feel like Denver could definitely get pressure on Easton Stick, and force the ball out, force mistakes. Cortland Sutton could catch a touchdown. Maybe Jerry Jeudy gets free. Javonte Williams maybe has a good running day. Patrick Surtain maybe gets a pick. So Cooper makes a couple sacks. So I'm going to go with the Broncos here at home against the Chargers, but not feeling kind of weird about it, to be honest. Feeling kind of weird about it. And then for the last game, we got Packers-Vikings. Both in playoff contention. Jaren Hall starting for the Vikings with JJ and Jordan Addison. So basically a full complement of weapons besides the all-pro tight end, the Pro Bowl tight end, TJ Hawkinson, who tore his ACL last week. Against Jordan Love, Austin Dillon, Aaron Jones, who's healthy, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks. I don't know if Christian Watson will be back. I'm not sure. Doesn't say anything right here about him. So I'm going to say that he is going to play because there's nothing about him here. Let me check. Maybe some news. Roster. Sorry about that. See what's going on here with Christian Watson. All right. He's questionable. Hamstring. Isn't practicing today. Okay, so we're going to go with he won't play. Because he hasn't played the last few games anyway. So we're going to go with he won't play. I'm going to go with Minnesota at home, guys. I'm going to go with Minnesota at home. I think Jaren Hall is going to play well. I think that, no Jair Alexander, so Valentine is going to cover JJ. I don't think that's a good matchup. I think Jaren Hall is going to force feed JJ and Jordan. I think they can't run the ball against this defense, but if they can keep him honest, then they should be okay. But I think that overall, Minnesota should get this win at home. I think Jaren Hall should play well. JJ plays good. Jordan Addison has a good game. And Chandler should run well. So I believe that Minnesota overcomes the Packers this week. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support as always. I'm El Bele, El Boricua. This is El Boricua y Parcero podcast. I hope you guys enjoy the new setup, the sound effects. Give you guys a hand of applause. Well, actually, that's a laugh. That's because we enjoyed ourselves. Round of applause for you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. We're just growing. If you guys enjoy my insight, if you guys enjoy my commentary, I thank you all. I thank you for tuning in. And I love you guys. Have a wonderful New Year's. Prospero Año Nuevo. And I will see you guys in 2024. I leave you with the outro.
El exec, el Belé, el fenómeno que todos quieren ser, el chamaquito que no pueden